Hey, I'm live here on YouTube. So no one else is here, which is fine. It's early. So you know what the rules are, right? 4 legs good, 2 legs better. No, that's an Animal Farm reference, everyone. And if you haven't read Animal Farm, then you really should, right? I hope everyone's doing well this morning. Horrible, D. I'm not here. I think, yeah, it is early. I'm sorry to hear that you're not doing well, Cryptomaria. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, yeah. Hey, DeRage.
Hey, what's up, man?
Just the person I wanted to talk to on January 6th.
Oh yeah, it's the big day. I've been watching Brian Craig this morning as I had to get my kid ready for school. The school districts here just want us to kill everybody. So they made us bring our children into school today.
Sure, why not? Yeah.
We had a blizzard yesterday, but yeah, it's fine. It's fine. The roads are good. No, then they're not good. I don't get it. Everybody else is closed.
Everyone else is good. Wow. I'm sorry to hear that, dude. What's up, Hudson?
Good morning.
John Hudson is trying his best with the technicalities.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, I when I wake up in the mornings to take my daughter to school, 6:00, Brian Craig starts, and he's like the only one streaming. He's this huge Trumper, so of course he's talking January 6th, and it's a year later. We have several hundred people in jail waiting to be prosecuted for really dampen down charges. The left has really honestly given these people a break. They should all be charged with treason. Insurrection is in the term. Like if you're going to charge for somebody for treason, insurrection is in the terminology, right?
Yeah.
And so like leftist, the quote unquote leftist, I don't consider the Democratic Party left, but the people in charge are pretty much, not doing that. They're charging them with lesser crimes. You might get like 6 months, right? Like, I think that's like the most somebody's gotten. And yet Brian Craig, a year later, is on air, a couple thousand viewers, radio morning show talk host in Florida, saying that it was Antifa that breached the Capitol, and they did it as Donald Trump was still talking. I shit you not. I'm like what? Like, where do you even get that?
Just make lies, man. That's all they do. Rage. That's all they do.
There's only 30-something people in jail, by the way.
Oh, is there? Yeah, a lot of them. They're still trying to find like 300, I think. But yeah, a lot of them have already been through the process, and they got a slaps on the wrist. Probation mostly.
Yeah, and I get 13 felonies for growing a fucking plant.
Yeah, exactly. And this dude is like, leftist, he literally said this, that radical leftist Merrick Garland. Like, no, he's a corporatist. Like, what are you talking about? That radical leftist Merrick Garland is trying to persecute the right. And I'm like, dude, like, he's like, why don't they charge them with insurrection? I'm like, for one, insurrection isn't a charge. Like, you get charged with treason. You don't get charged with insurrection.
and treason's the death can be a death penalty.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're taking it easy on these people.
Well, it just shows you that you can't really you can't meet them halfway. You can't meet, radicals like that halfway, because they'll just keep pushing and pushing and pushing.
And let's say, like, what if they succeeded, right? Like, they succeeded in their coup. They overturned the election of Joe Biden and instilled Trump back into his place. Like, what do you think would have happened? Like, do you think that they would have been lenient on us? No, of course not.
Yeah. So we would end up, we would be like Turkey is today, right?
Yeah.
Like President Erdogan, basically tanking the economy, supporting religious fascism. It would be just like Turkey, basically. And I see someone trying to come in. He's in the background. His name is Ass F. Basic rules of joining the chat is if we know you, if someone here can vouch for you, if you've been part in the community for a while, And of course, you know, if you're new, then you definitely have to show your face because there are people who just spam us with porn, right?
Yeah, yeah. The last time the dude waited till the after show to porn bomb you.
Highly, you know, you got to give props to someone. You got to give someone credit for someone who's willing to wait 20 whole minutes just so that they can show you part of their, you know, and I don't want to body shame anyone, but he had a body that looked like a bag of mashed potatoes, to tell you the truth.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
He had a
and,
body that looked like mine.
yeah, yeah.
You know, like I'm not gonna go around showing, you know, what people don't want to see about myself. I'm gonna put it that way.
All right, so there you go. I just kicked him because he wouldn't follow the rules. If you don't follow the basic rules, then you're not going to be part of the show. It's as easy as that.
Yeah, I had an open room on New Year's Eve. It was like right after that. I think it was like right the same day that show happened, maybe, or you know, like a day after the show happened, where the dude waited like 20 minutes and came in and, you know, gave us a wonderful view of how he takes a bath. And I'm like, I had this guy come in, a guy that I know, I can't remember his name, but like he's been in a couple rooms. I've seen him around, but I didn't recognize the name. I'm like, nope, you're not coming in. I'm not doing this today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he showed me his face. Oh yeah, I know you. All right.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But sometimes people will show your face. You know, we have to be somewhat professional here, right? YouTube was going to put the ban hammer on people for doing silly things or allowing things to happen on their channel.
Oh yeah. Kevin Chaos got his channel taken down, his account scrubbed.
What
even
happened
after
with him? What happened?
He had a porn bomber. A guy porn bombed. It was like a second.
Yep.
You know, according to I wasn't there, I didn't see it, but you know, from what he says, and he you know, he showed like all the YouTube correspondence on Facebook. So yeah, like literally somebody porn bombed, and it makes me like, all right, were there any streams that I got porn bombed that I didn't take down? And there could be one up there. I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
But YouTube is coming after it.
Oh yeah. So Mannery there also probably the same person. You know, I just said what the rules are to be on the chat. You got to be part of the community, or someone has to be able to vouch for you. Is one of those two things. And of course, yeah, and see now he's gone, of course. So, you know, maybe because we're doing the show earlier, maybe there're just more spammers out there. There are more losers who are skipping school and, you know, deciding to do this. I don't know.
And it is a day. I expect a lot of Trumper trolls around today.
Oh yeah,
you know,
sure.
So.
Well, you know, I specifically did that video last night to try to get the try to catch the algorithm, right? The hate algorithm for the Trumpers.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and they're out there, especially today. You know, this is Brian Craig was saying, you know, like this is the new strategy from the Democrats because they can't, you know, haven't really done anything. I don't really honestly disagree with them. I think that it pretty probably will be their strategy is really harping on the insurrection. But you know, like, but they should, you know,
They need to.
It's a political strategy. Sure. I'll grant you that. But, you know, they should be doing that. And you should be doing that too. You know,
you know, when you talk about a political strategy, what I hear, and once again, I don't know a lot about sports, but it sounds like, sure, it's a way to win the game.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, you're there to win the game. You know, and winning the game in this situation means keeping the country safe from fascists and theocrats. You know,
them and their deflated footballs.
Well, that's what it is. I'll just I'll sack.
You know, the only thing I really hate about this, you know, January 6th happening and the anniversary is, you know, the build up to this. I've heard it several times on mainstream media. Is, well, you know, you should never attack your government, you know, attacking the government wrong. And I'm like, what? That's kind of how we're a country. You know, like, so like, that's the only part of the narrative I don't like, you know, attacking the country over nonsense wrong, but attacking the country, like, say, had the coup succeeded, had they overturned, had fascism really hit America, wouldn't it be our duty to attack that government? Right.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, that's the only little part of the narrative I don't like.
Right. You know, I'm a person who advocates having a John Brown Day, right? And who attacked Harper's Ferry and attempted to do a slave insurrection in the South. Yeah. I think the man's a national hero, to tell you the truth. He died for the cause of real liberty, right, of human rights. That's
Yeah, I mean, and isn't that like why they harp on the Second Amendment? Is like because they're somehow going to be able to beat the U.S. military with their rifles, so they have to have their rifles, so they can attack a tyrannical government. But like now it's like, oh no, you should never revolt against the government. I'm like, well, that's history. That's gonna. I mean,
yeah.
As a socialist, I am a progressive socialist. I don't want revolution. It's one of the things that it's why it took me so long to like get there to really say, yeah, I can be a socialist, because I always associated revolution with it. I don't want revolution. I don't want violence. But at the same time, to say it's always bad no matter what, like, you clearly haven't studied history, have you? But other than that, I think that they are doing a pretty. This is like the one thing the Democrats messaging is on.
Let me just talk to this person. It's like, why did you ban Rannery? He was one of the person using the sock puppet account. It's like, I don't know. The same reason why I don't follow Jesus, because it's wait. We're gonna give you the prize after you die, right? We're gonna give you the prize after you do this thing. Right, so maybe you should go to a Christian channel and porn bomb them, because they're much more an evangelical channel, a MAGA channel, because they're much more into the whole, hey, wait, we're going to give you all this great stuff after you live your entire life and make all this a huge investment into this thing that doesn't exist.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of what we might be a little afraid of, is you coming on camera or on stream and showing us your quote unquote face. Right. You got to do that backstage, bruh.
Yeah. So Scapegoat Iscariot makes an interesting point. Christianity has a full chapter mandate in Romans 13 to obey whatever government they're under, even if they are sure that it's. Oh yeah, I've used that. I've made a couple of memes on that. Scapegoat Iscariot. Yeah.
I never understood the Christians that are like, obey the laws of God, not the laws of man, because of that. They cherry pick. They cherry pick what they want. But no, you're supposed to obey the laws of man no matter what.
Fascism at its very core isn't about. It's about fascism. Fascism is about fascism. Any kind of religion that it is attached to, whether it's whatever religion, the religion is secondary. The most important thing is the relationship of the leader to the people, to his followers. That's the most important thing. Faith is secondary. Tobin Templeman, Darth Sith Lord Tobin Templeman. I see you.
Good morning, y'all.
Yeah, looking a little warmer than the last time I saw Tobin.
Yeah, I took a few layers off.
So is this your new time during the Omicron?
Well, I have to. Well, the thing is that there's a lot of people out of work where I'm at, and we usually have 3 people doing my job, or doing the job that I basically do. There's 3 of us, and the position, and there's only 1 person left, and that's me.
Yeah.
So that means I'm going in early and working my hours. And so that means my day starts at 9. So obviously I can't do the show at 9. And so that means I'm trying to back end, to front end everything. So after I'm done with this show, I have a little video meeting about the site, the new site. And that should take me to just about enough time for me to get into work.
Yeah, see, my work, we were kind of lucky. Like we got hit with the first one, and then we got hit again with Delta. So everybody's had it at my work, except for my boss, who is the Trumper. I'll never understand it.
Everybody, well, it's if you've ever known, a group of people being in the same car during a car accident, and it's horrible, right? I mean, car accidents are horrible, but having worked with guys who have brain injuries for a number of years, you hear these stories about, 4 people in the car, and there's no rhyme or reason about who got effed up the most, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's like, for some reason, the person in the passenger left seat's the one who is now paralyzed and in a wheelchair and can't even, and has a severe brain injury. The drivers, so there's no rhyme or reason to. I mean, there might be some kind of deep science that we don't really understand.
Yeah, he could just have like a really super good immune system, but like they pick on me because I'm the far lefty that was, like you even take your mask down, I would bitch at you, and
Yeah.
I was the first person that got it.
Maybe he's
Well,
like a closeted leftist and he doesn't want his Trump
Yeah.
friends and family to
But
know that he's a vaccinated lefty.
that could be it. I've thought that because he's not a hardcore Trumper, but he is on the anti-vax train, and I think like does he just say that because everybody knows that he's a hardcore Trump guy because he hasn't gotten sick, like it's he'll be right next to somebody with COVID. That person's out for the next 10 days, but nope, he's good.
well, the thing is, he could be walking, and here's the thing. We have like Schrodinger's box. We have Schrodinger's idiot who's in the box. That guy doesn't know if he's gotten COVID or not. He could just be asymptomatic, walking around and spreading it to people.
Oh yeah, which I think happens
Yeah,
all the time, especially
course it
now.
does. And those people don't care if someone's nan dies, right? Someone who has immunodeficiency, someone who is compromised dies. That's what they're
Yeah.
saying.
I just found out, like I've been talking about this recently. I think I might have talked about it here once. Like they don't really do any of that tracing. What they should be doing, like if somebody gets COVID, they're not making sure that they're isolating. They're just say, like for the longest time, I thought, oh yeah, you have to isolate, and then I'm opened up to this world. Like no, like hardly anybody does it. Like so no wonder COVID spreads and keeps spreading because people aren't following basic protocol.
Yeah. There are, there are some people who've gotten. I was talking to the girlfriend, of course, because she's the girlfriend, and one of the doctors at her job that they interact with, this surgeon has gotten COVID 3 times through the pandemics. He's gotten
Wow.
each
Wow.
one of the major variants.
But that natural immunity, though,
yeah, which lasts for what, 3 months, right? Maybe.
that's what they say. They say it's like forever. Like you listen to right wing talk radio, you're good. If you've had COVID, just go out and you're normal now. I'm like, dude, oh my god.
Well,
Like, I had OG COVID and I knew better than that.
yeah, that's like saying
Well,
you
when-
got the flu, and that means you can't catch the flu again.
Well, when I got it, I showed no signs of it, except the only thing I've had is the tiredness.
Yeah.
I didn't have a sniffle. I didn't have a sneeze. I didn't have anything. The kids were all
Oh, I
sick
mean,
as fuck. But
You're lucky.
So yeah, the person could be the carrier. Your boss could be the carrier, fucking dropping it around places too. Not
Mhm.
show.
Well, and it is real luck because if for those of us who survived the AIDS epidemic, right? There were just some people who were just carriers. HIV for them would not progress into AIDS because of just some kind of weird lock that they had. Because with HIV, there needs to be, just like with COVID, of course, there needs to be a certain kind of cellular lock to get into the cell itself, and those people, like I think a certain percentage of the population, just didn't have that lock for HIV, the key to get into their cells. So, they could have HIV in their system, but it wouldn't progress to AIDS, and that's just luck, right?
Well, one season,
Yeah.
everybody around me was getting strep throat, and
Yeah.
my friend Dr. Jim, he's like, maybe it's you. I'm like, I'm not sick. He's like, do me a favor, go get checked. And sure in the fuck, I had the strep throat.
Yeah.
And everybody around me was getting sick, and I didn't think it was
Mhm.
me because I showed no symptoms.
Sure.
Wow.
Sure.
I've never had strep throat, but I heard it sucks.
Oh, I've had it many times. Let me tell you, it is not good.
Swallow a razor blade. It's kind of like about the same.
It's about that. That is exactly right, John Hudson. That's how I felt. Yeah.
Because I have had it, but that time, that's why I didn't think there, no way it could be me because it's nasty.
Yeah.
But that time I was the spreader.
I will say this about the company that I work for is that because they do DNA sequencing and they're part of the medical field, they've been able to score from the main office a bunch of PCR tests, like the real tests, and that.
Nice.
Yeah, right. So not only are they providing them for employees at this branch that I work at, but they're offering them to people who live in the same house. So
Well, it seems like these home tests are not picking up this Omicron.
yeah, you know, the what we did when the girlfriend got COVID, because we're afraid of false positives, right? So when she got her initial test back, her at home test, it came back positive. And it came back, it was very clear as soon as she put the swab in there that it looked like it was going to be positive. So I went out and I grabbed another test, and the likelihood of having two false positives, there's a chance of course that happening, but it's much less. And of course she was symptomatic too. So that's what we did, because we had two tests available. I grabbed a second test, is that to make sure that she actually had it.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of things I'm hearing.
It's really the. Oh,
What's that, Tobin?
I was just gonna say, doing multiple tests. That's really the only thing you can really do to be, fairly certain.
Yeah. My buddy Jack Maturko, who lives out in Arizona, he was saying that for the drive-through tests, the PCR test, he said, the line is for that is blocks long. Here in Boston, my boss, I think I mentioned this before, my boss tried to get a PCR test, and she was, or they were basically told, it's too long a line, you gotta get out of here. Just sending people away.
Over here, they've been scheduling it, and it and the times Kendra has gone and done it, she's been like right there and then back. Like they schedule everybody, so you like go up to the clinic and do your thing, and then there's like no lines virtually.
Well, there are different models. There is you can schedule an appointment model, which is far better than the open door model, in which people just show up. And when you just tell people you can just show up, it's crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's how it, like I explained how it is here before. It's or at least where I go. I'm not sure if it's like that everywhere, but I'm pretty sure it's everywhere. It's by appointment, and it's a car drive up. You drive up in your car, and they come out to you. You roll down your window and pull down your mask. Hardly any waits. It's no waiting. And like if we had to wait 4 hours to get a COVID test today at 9 degrees with about 6 inches of snow on the ground, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, Cryptomaria says, I got sick. My coworker got sick. Wow. That sucks, Cryptomaria. My heart goes out to you. And Cryptomaria says, I can stay in the fabric for 2 days. Scary stuff.
Well, the people too are saying, "Oh, this Omicron isn't as bad." Maybe because a lot of people are vaccinated, that people aren't dropping like flies. I don't know.
Yeah, once again, there's a lot of different variables. Of course, for the people who are unvaccinated, we cover people dying from COVID, at least a couple of times a week, and the people who are dying are the ones who are unvaccinated. More or less, at least a far greater percentage of the people are just unvaccinated, and those are the ones who are dying.
Well, and the ones you've been highlighting too are the ones that have been really outspoken against it.
Oh yeah. Well, those are the ones who decide to go up to these huge conferences, right? These meetings, these anti-masker meetings and conferences, and no surprise that they actually catch it there.
Irony.
Yeah, I don't have much sympathy for people like that. I try to tell myself, like they're being fooled by, propaganda and the media that they watch. But at the same time, it's like, you're an idiot. This is kind of what evolution does.
If anybody deserves it, it's them.
Yeah. Well, once again, my big beef is with the people who have the large platforms who are going out of their way to spread the disinformation, the Joe Rogans of the world.
Yes, exactly.
Who
is totally butthurt right now.
Yeah. those are the people who really. It just shows you how important it is to really press skepticism and humanism when times are good. So when times are bad, there are less people acting like a-holes. Hopefully, you know.
Yes, I saw a meme the other day. Is like, thank God there wasn't internet when we had smallpox. Because we'd still be dealing with smallpox probably.
Oh yeah, dude. You know we would be. Yeah. Well,
You know what's
small-
crazy
it's-
too?
Oh, go ahead, Tobin.
Okay, like over in the Eastern world, they had figured out inoculation, and they're like figuring out that, and if we would have had the internet back then, the Indians could have gotten the inoculation, and they could have survived the smallpox. I always
Oh, yeah.
like. I wish that they could have gotten inoculation.
Yeah.
Because I really like their culture, and I would like to get to know more of it.
Like
There's
Native Americans.
Yes.
No, the huge thing is just the American government didn't share the inoculation. They should have. It was their responsibility to do so. But yeah, I agree. Like, if there was social media back then, yeah, that probably would have been a great help for the nations, because it was like the third or fourth plague upon their race. When I say plague, like it started with when the European came over. Everybody knows their history.
I will say, and this is what I've said all along during COVID, is if the mortality rate was higher, there would be little to no active discussion about people's religious liberties about getting the vaccine. I'll give, and this is a story I'd love to talk about. There was a story in Milan during the. I hear an echo. There was in Milan, Italy, when the plague first hit them. What they did, and the plague, 1/3, 1 out of 3 people dead, supposedly. That's the common statistic bantered around. So that if you had plague in Milan, they would brick up your house with you in it, and brick up your neighbors too.
Wait, are you saying
Hmm.
brick up? Like they would put bricks around?
Yes, they were serious about keeping the whatever was going on, because they didn't understand what was going on. They just said that, we're going to just contain it as best as we can. And so they would brick up, like the windows, the doors. It's like, this is you. Sorry, Charlie. This is it. And then they would do your neighbors too.
Oh,
So if in terms of smallpox, which is a horrible disease, if the mortality rate for COVID was similar to smallpox, and if it was visible like smallpox, because we're a stupid visual species, it would be a bayonet. It would be you are getting vaccinated, your children are getting vaccinated, and if you don't like it, that's too bad.
Be federal vaccine mandates all over the place if it if it was something that was actually you could see or affected your physical appearance.
shit! It would probably be volunteer by that point. There'd probably be people just willing to do it.
So, ladies and gentlemen out there, I'm going to have to stop because it's 8 o'clock, and I got a lot of stuff to do. Today. And so I will talk. Thanks, everyone. I hope you have a good and safe day, right? Everyone take care. And I'm taking the day off tomorrow because I've been doing a lot of work and I'm driving myself crazy. And so I'm taking the day off, at least from this show. I'll be doing the other stuff that I do. But yeah, show off tomorrow. And so I'll probably see you over the weekend, if not Monday. Take care. Thanks a lot. Oh no, I hit the wrong button again. Shamla Hamla.